During a tense Senate hearing, Senator John Kennedy pressed the Attorney General on the Department of Justice's budget, gun policy, fentanyl trafficking, relations with Mexico, and the ongoing Hunter Biden tax investigation. The exchange began with a discussion of funding. Senator Kennedy questioned the DOJ's current budget, citing figures that place total spending at approximately $48.3 billion when mandatory spending is included.
Your current budget, by my calculations, is $48.3 billion, is that right?
The budget request is for $37.8 billion, the FY25 budget, and that would constitute a 3.5% increase over.
But with mandatory spending, your budget's 48.3, is that right?
I don't have the number for including mandatory, but I'll certainly be able to get back to you for that.
Well, let's take out mandatory.
Yeah.
Your discretionary budget right now is $37.8 billion.
The FY25 request is for 37.8.
That's not what I'm asking.
I'm sorry?
What's your current budget?
Well, it's 3.5% less than that, so I can take out my calculator and do the math, but I don't have it in front of me.
All right, well, let me put it another way. You're asking for an extra $467 million, is that right?
In the increased amount of money that we're asking for, that's approximately right, yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, in the past, let's say 40 years, has the Department of Justice ever come before Congress and said, we don't need any more, we're going to make it with what we've got in light of the fiscal circumstances in the country?
I normally wouldn't want to speculate, but in this case, I can't imagine that the Department of Justice, facing increasing threats every year, violent crime, threats to our national security, drug trafficking threats,
Is that a no?
I don't know the answer, but I think it would be surprising if the department ever asked for less money. I think that would be not responsible.
You talked in a little bit in your testimony, General, about guns, and you've been very outspoken about the need for more gun control. With respect, and if you don't mind me asking, do you own a gun?
I don't.
Okay. Have you ever fired a gun?
Many times.
Okay. Do you have 24-hour security?
I do.
Okay. Let me ask you about fentanyl, because that's a huge problem, and I know you're worried about it, as are we. And we've, of course, got a problem with the precursor chemicals coming into Mexico to the Mexican cartels who manufacture the fentanyl and send it into the United States. Isn't a big part of the problem that if you took the Mexican drug cartels and turned them upside down and shook them, that President Lopez Obrador would fall out of their pockets?
Well, I'll leave the metaphor aside. The department has said that we do not have an investigation of the President of Mexico.
Do you think President of Mexico is our friend?
We need cooperation from Mexico. Mexico has been somewhat cooperative with respect to our fight against the cartels, not as helpful as I wish they were, but without their cooperation, we can't be successful in destroying the cartels.
Why wouldn't the president go to President Lopez Obrador and say, no offense, but the fentanyl problem is killing Americans, the illegal immigration problem is hurting Americans. If you don't cooperate with us, and he clearly hasn't been, and he's not afraid of us, we're going to implement tariffs on Mexico until you do.
I think there are many ways to encourage cooperation from another country.
But that would do it, wouldn't it?
I don't know whether that would do it or whether...
You don't think that would get his attention?
I am not a diplomat. I'm not a foreign affairs strategist. I know we need their support and cooperation.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that would be positive or negative.
So we just ask politely.
Well, we do more than that, but
Right.
considerably more than
Let
that.
me ask-
I don't know the answer to your
Okay.
high-level
Let me ask you one
strategy
last question in my 14 seconds. I've been dying to ask you this question.
How long have you been dying to ask me this question?
Long time. Long time. Mr. Hunter Biden did not pay taxes on $1 million in 2014 and 2015. And he deducted payments from his income tax for personal expenses when he did file. For hookers, for a Lamborghini, for strip clubs, for sex clubs, for porn website memberships. Why did the Department of Justice let the statute of limitations run?
As you well know,
So
Senator.
you can't prosecute?
As you well know, Senator, that investigation is being conducted by Mr. Weiss, who was appointed by President Trump to be the U.S. Attorney in Delaware. Much of the investigation you're talking about occurred during the previous administration under Mr. Weiss. Mr. Weiss has continued his investigations. He's now a special counsel. He will issue a report which
So are
will
you saying
explain
it's
those.
Trump's fault?
Which will explain. No, I don't know whether there's fault or not. Mr. Weiss will explain this in his report.
But we can't. Mr. Hunter Biden walks free on not paying taxes on $1 million from 2014 and 15 because the Department of Justice let it happen, right?
Again, I'm not going to comment on decisions made in a pending investigation. In the end, Mr. Weiss will issue a report. I will provide the report to Congress. You will be able to question Mr. Weiss as to his reasoning, and he will be able to defend his reasoning.
Would you come with Mr. Weiss when he does that?
I'm not going to know the intricacies of Mr. Weiss' investigation. There would be no point. It's Mr. Weiss who's responsible for this investigation.
But you were head of the Department of Justice.
Yes, and I've appointed him as special counsel so that he can independently investigate this matter.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Senator Kennedy. Senator Manchin.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Judge, for being here. I appreciate your service.
The Attorney General confirmed the increase amounted to roughly $460 million. Kennedy then asked whether, at any point in the last 4 decades, the Department of Justice had ever told Congress it did not need additional funding. The Attorney General responded that given rising threats, including violent crime, national security risks, and drug trafficking, it would be difficult to imagine the department responsibly requesting less funding. The conversation shifted to gun policy. Senator Kennedy noted the Attorney General's outspoken support for stronger gun control and asked whether he personally owned a firearm. The Attorney General replied that he did not, though he acknowledged having fired guns many times. When asked if he had 24-hour security, the Attorney General confirmed that he did. Kennedy then turned to the fentanyl crisis, pointing to precursor chemicals flowing into Mexico and the role of Mexican drug cartels in manufacturing and smuggling fentanyl into the United States. He suggested corruption at the highest levels of Mexico's government and questioned whether Mexico's president was truly a partner in combating the crisis. The Attorney General stated that the Department of Justice does not have an investigation into Mexico's president and emphasized that cooperation from Mexico is necessary, though he acknowledged it has not been as effective as desired. Kennedy proposed using tariffs as leverage to force cooperation, but the Attorney General declined to endorse the idea, noting that he is not a diplomat and could not say whether such a move would help or hurt efforts. With time running short, Senator Kennedy pivoted to the Hunter Biden tax case. He cited allegations that Hunter Biden failed to pay taxes on more than $1 million in income from 2014 and 2015 and improperly deducted personal expenses. Kennedy asked why the Department of Justice allowed the statute of limitations to expire on those charges. The Attorney General responded that the investigation was led by U.S. Attorney David Weiss, who was originally appointed during the Trump administration and later named special counsel to ensure independence. He explained that Weiss would issue a report detailing his decisions and that Congress would have the opportunity to question him directly. Kennedy argued that Hunter Biden effectively avoided prosecution due to DOJ inaction, but the Attorney General declined to comment on decisions made in an ongoing investigation. He reiterated that Weiss is solely responsible for the case and that the report would provide full transparency. The hearing concluded as the chair recognized the next senator, bringing the contentious exchange to a close.